At 2:13 a.m., a 911 call came in with no voice, no words, just the sound of a dog barking, and what the police discovered next left them speechless. Welcome to Paw Story, where every story touches your heart and some stories stay with you forever. It was 2:13 a.m. when a strange 911 call came in. There was no voice on the line, no one asking for help, just heavy breathing and the faint sound of a dog barking. Then suddenly, the call disconnected. Officer Daniel Carter had been on duty for over 10 years, but something about this call didn't feel right. There was no caller ID, no exact location, just a weak signal coming from the outskirts of the city. His partner thought it was probably nothing, maybe a prank or a mistake, but Daniel couldn't ignore the feeling in his gut. He said something is off, and we need to check this out. Within minutes, their patrol car reached an abandoned warehouse far from the city lights. The place looked lifeless, with broken windows, rusted gates, and complete silence surrounding it. As they stepped out of the car, Daniel suddenly heard it again, the same sound from the call, a dog barking somewhere in the darkness. Out of the shadows, a German shepherd slowly walked toward them. His fur was dirty, his body slightly shaking, but his eyes were filled with urgency, as if he was trying to say something. The dog didn't bark this time. Instead, he turned around and started walking back toward the warehouse, then stopped and looked back at the officers, almost like he was asking them to follow him. Daniel immediately understood. This dog is trying to show us something. Without wasting a second, they followed him inside. The air inside was cold and heavy, and every step echoed in the silence. Suddenly, a loud noise came from one of the rooms deeper inside. They rushed toward it, their hearts pounding. What they saw inside froze them in place. A young boy was tied to a chair, helpless and terrified. Standing in front of him was a man holding a gun. The man shouted, "Take one more step and he is dead." For a moment, everything stood still. The tension in the room was unbearable. Then, in a split second, everything changed. As the man tightened his grip on the gun, the dog suddenly leaped straight at him. The attack caught the man completely off guard. The gun slipped from his hand, and a shot fired into the ceiling. That one moment was enough. Daniel rushed forward and tackled the man to the ground, while his partner secured him. The boy was finally safe. The danger was over, but the mystery was not. As things calmed down, Daniel looked at the dog, who was breathing heavily but still standing strong. One of the officers asked, "Whose dog is this?" But no one had an answer. There was no collar, no tag, no microchip, nothing that could identify him. It was as if he had appeared out of nowhere. Then the boy slowly spoke. He said, "I called 911. Daniel looked confused and replied, "But we didn't hear you." The boy looked at the dog and said, "I couldn't speak, so I held the phone near him, and he barked." For a few seconds, no one said anything. That call was never meant to be understood, and yet somehow it was. Daniel walked up to the dog, knelt down, and gently placed his hand on his head. He said softly, "You saved him." The dog wagged his tail, as if he already knew what he had done. That night, a life was saved, not by words, not by weapons, but by loyalty and instinct. Sometimes heroes do not wear badges. Sometimes they walk on four legs. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to Paw Story, because here every story has a soul.